Seats in the middle area of the room, so please fill those up so you don't have to stand up. And if you can please ensure that your mobile phones are switched off or at least to silent. So we will be commencing the service in about 20 minutes time. Ali's already had a look through it, so I'm just going to leave it here and I'll have it open just like that. Now, some funeral homes have people stand for the Lord's Prayer.
Yeah, stand.
Yep.
Stand. Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
Cool. Still a good bit of time to go.
Just the nice little touches, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I'll leave that with the family can have those as well.
Pity. But
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, again at the start of the service, just invite people about the seats again.
To fill up.
It happens every time. No one wants to see.
Yeah.
But I think she's actually
As I've
teaching
said before,
people, which is good.
funerals and weddings, people don't know what the protocols are.
Yep. That's all right. That's all right.
Yeah, so I'm glad you said I was able to do that.
Yeah.
Friends and family, there are a couple of rows of seats just down towards the front, so don't be shy. Please come forward and fill up the seats that don't have reserve signs on them. There's at least 2 rows that are over here. Just to let you know, Will's service this morning is being streamed as well, and if those of you that can't get a seat and need to get a seat, there will be streaming out in the back room, just out through those gold doors down the back of the room. So if you would like to sit out there and watch the service a little bit more comfortably than standing up, you're very welcome to do so. Friends and family, welcome to Will Thurston's funeral service. It's wonderful to see so many people here who've been affected and influenced by Will's life. Please show your respect to Will and his family by turning off your mobile phones. Our service will commence in a couple of minutes. If you're able to, please stand. Please be seated. Family and friends, today we have gathered in great numbers to say farewell to William Robert Thurston, who had a tremendous impact on the lives he interacted with. Will is the much-loved fourth child of Cole and Michelle, brother to Thomas, to Neil, Ashley and her partner Chet, uncle to Remy and Marley, and boyfriend to Emily. Since the first time Cole took Will to Bali, it was a favourite place of Will's, a place with many special memories with friends and family. It is perhaps fitting that Will's final days were in a place he really connected with and much loved. Will actually enjoyed being the youngest of four and caused much grief to Michelle, but always smoothed things over with an "I love you, Mum" at the right moment. His aunties confirmed for me today that they always looked forward to his big hugs whenever they met up. Will certainly enjoyed life and was a good and loyal mate to his many friends who have described him as personality plus. Will's father Cole will share with us some of Will's larger-than-life personality a little later on. It would be fair to say Will absolutely loved his 20s and lived his life to the full. He enjoyed physical activity and was enjoying his career in landscaping. As he progressed into the latter half of his 20s, his family noticed a more mature and settled Will emerging as he spent time with his girlfriend Emily. It is easy today to think of Will at just 27 years of age in terms of what if. But rather, let us today celebrate what has been. A young man with a zest for life, a love for his family, connection with the outdoors and Bali, and a fierce loyalty and love of his mates. I'm now going to invite Will's sisters, Ashley and Tennille, to share their thoughts on their much-loved brother.
For one of the first times in my life, I think I'm truly lost for words. On behalf of the Thurston family, Tennille and I would like to say that we are overwhelmed and deeply touched by the outpouring of love and support that has been shown to Will and our family. The community spirit shown by extended family, friends, colleagues, and even strangers has left us speechless, and there will never be enough words or thanks to equate to how we have been feeling. Will, I think the turnout today is a true testament to the person you were. You were an absolute pain in the ass, extremely stubborn, and truly did not care about what others think. But on the flip side of that, they are the traits that I think everyone loved about you the most and made you the individual that you were. There will forever be a hole in our hearts when I think about your short life. It aches for the years you miss out on, the grief our mum and dad are feeling, the annual family holidays you'll miss, the Christmas lunches you won't be at, your life with Emily and the dog walks with Louie, the kids you miss out on and the beers you won't get to drink. When I close my eyes, all I see is you now, instead of seeing you fighting for life. I promise to try and remember our memories as kids, the ones where Tennille and I would play mums and dads and you would be the baby, dressing you up in girls' clothes and doing your hair, catching tadpoles in the gutters of Wandella Avenue. Wherever you are now, I hope it is fun. I hope you're with our Nan and Pa and Nonna and Nonnel, and I hope you're as happy there as you were on Earth. I love you forever, my little brother, and we'll never forget you.
Thank you, Emily and Tennille, for those beautiful words about your brother Will. Ashley, sorry. I'll now invite Will's loving mother, Michelle, to share with us Will's early years. Oh, my apologies. I'll now invite Will's girlfriend, Emily, to share some thoughts about Will and what he meant to her.
Hello, everyone. Thank you all for being here to remember and honour William. Today is hard, and there are no words that feel right and no way to capture the depth of this loss. But I know that William would have wanted us to be strong, just as he was in the days before he left us. To be completely honest, William wasn't the type of person I ever imagined myself falling for. He's covered in tattoos, a little rough around the edges, and lived an hour and a half away from me. When we first met, I wasn't sure how we would ever get along, but if you knew William, you knew how determined he could be. He was messaging me every morning, afternoon, and night, booking hotels so we could see each other every weekend, and making sure that no matter the distance between us, we could always be together. Before I knew it, he had become a part of my daily life, and I had become a part of his. It felt like we just clicked so instantly. Seeing him would always give me something to look forward to throughout the week. In a way, I'm grateful we lived far apart because it made our time together feel that much more valuable. Some of my fondest memories of him are the hours and hours we would spend at the beach with his dog Louie in the ocean, just talking and laughing. William and I have so many special memories together, I could go on for hours. But I wanted to speak to all of you today to hopefully bring everybody some sort of peace, as I was lucky enough to be with William during his final days awake. We were fortunate enough to spend an entire week with two of our closest friends, Jason and Bianca, in Bali, the place William loved the most, doing all of the things he loved. On one of our first days in Bali, William had decided to sign us all up to a 10-hour day of whitewater rafting and quad biking. To be honest, this didn't seem like the most romantic or safest thing I had imagined us doing in Bali, but I was somehow convinced by William to join. Once we got there, and they told us we had to walk 800 steps down the side of a huge cliff with railings that were made of bamboo tied together with string that looked like they were about to fall apart, I began to rethink my decision. But now I can happily say those 2 hours we spent whitewater rafting that day was one of the most beautiful memories I've ever made. Of course, William spent much of those 2 hours splashing me and any other random people in rafts passing us as much as he could. But in between the splashing and laughing, there were moments of quiet where we floated down the river together, surrounded by the greenery that blanketed the mountains around us. It was pure, unfiltered beauty. The kind of moment that makes you realize how lucky you are and how much life is made up of these simple, unforgettable experiences. That day, I was right there with him, making memories that I'll carry with me forever. After that, we were scheduled in for our quad biking tour. Unfortunately for me, I was on the back of the bike with William driving, so of course I nearly fell off the bike multiple times, screaming at him to slow down. To be honest, that whole tour was a bit of a disaster, really. People were tipping their bikes over, ramming into trees, swerving all over the place and crashing into each other. As much as I was hanging on for my life on the back of this bike, William and I couldn't help but laugh at how chaotic it all was. That night, William and I went back to our hotel room, and as I was getting up to go to the bathroom late at night, we were blessed with the presence of a poisonous snake hissing at us right next to our bed. We went out and told the reception about it, expecting them to catch it and maybe put it back outside. Instead, 2 of the workers came into our room, and one actually whipped out a taser and began tasering this poor snake while the other smashed it over and over again with a broom. Safe to say, we were both a little taken aback, but still somehow couldn't stop laughing over the Balinese approach towards removing this snake. Another nice memory from our holiday was being in Canggu and deciding we were all going to have a big night out. Jace, Bianca, William and I had countless cocktails by the rooftop pool that afternoon. We got to watch the beautiful sunset, and William told us how he went surfing in that very beach we were overlooking on his 18th birthday. That night we wound up at a club, and somehow William and Jason managed to get us a reserved part of the stage with our own personal security guards. We all danced together that night and had so much fun that the next night we went back to the same club and did it all over again. Another special memory was the night we all went out to a delicious Italian restaurant that, unbeknownst to us at the time, actually had a Michelin star chef preparing all of our food. I know this memory doesn't sound like much in words, but just being there, enjoying a nice meal and the company of some of our closest friends, talking about so many things together was so special to me and to William. Unfortunately, William and I didn't get to have the last week in Bali that we had dreamed of. Instead, I find myself struggling to put into words how the last days of his life unfolded, but I hope sharing this with you can somehow bring everyone some comfort. In those last 2 days that William was awake prior to his surgery, where I was the only one with him in his hospital room, I stayed with him, holding his hand, making sure he knew that he wasn't alone and was loved by so many. Those 2 days were really hard, but I promised myself I would be strong for him, just like he had always been strong for me. Throughout this time, he was so incredibly brave. He kept reassuring me, telling me that everything was going to be okay. I don't think I'll ever forget those moments of him comforting me when he was the one hurting. That's who William was. He had a way of making everyone feel better, even when he was fighting for his life. William fought so hard right until the very end. I'm grateful I was able to be there with him, to hold his hand, to tell him I loved him, and to make sure he knew how much he meant to me. That final night, sitting there with him just minutes before his surgery, I had no idea that would be the last time I'd ever hear his voice, or the last time I'd feel his arms around me. Before he went in, he gave me the biggest hug and kissed me, telling me with so much certainty that he would make it through the surgery. He promised me he'd be okay, and he did keep his promise to me and made it through the surgery. But as much as he fought, he never woke up. I will forever cherish those last days, those final moments awake, where he gave me his love, his strength, and his hope. I'll carry his love with me every single day, and I know that wherever he is, he's still watching over us, laughing with us, and making sure we all remember to hold on to the good in life and to remain strong, just like he always did, even when it feels impossible. So William, you'll always be with me, in my heart and in my thoughts. Thank you for being a part of my life, for making me a better person, and for loving me the way you did. I'll miss you every day. I love you, William.
Thank you, Emily, for those beautiful words about Will. I will now invite Will's loving mother, Michelle, to share with us Will's early years.
To sit and write a eulogy about your 27-year-old son is an extremely hard thing to do. Thankfully, Will had lived his life to the fullest, and there are lots of stories to tell. As Will's mum, a lot of these stories caused me grief at the time, but now they make me laugh. So, William, Will or Willie, he was known by all these names, was born 14 June 1997 at Gosford Hospital. Will was the younger brother to Tom, Ash and Tennille. He came into the world early and being Will in a hurry. Will made his presence known from the day he was born. He was hardly ever quiet, even when he was asleep. As a toddler, he was a handful, never wanting to hold your hand or sit still for long. A trip to the shops would usually end in a search for Will, as he would always take off. The residents of Wandella Avenue would have many stories of the adventures of Will. He had no fear at all. One day I received a call from a neighbour up the street saying she could see Will on the roof of our house hanging onto the TV antenna. I was standing watching him down below with my other neighbour, and there was nothing we could do because there was no point in telling Will to get down. He would come down when he was ready. As a family, we would spend Sundays down at Batter Bay Beach, where Will would run from one end of the beach to the other. He never wanted to go home. We also had family holidays to Mount Selwyn skiing, and I have to say that my memories there were great, as the 4 kids loved skiing without having any fights whilst we were there. His early years of schooling were at Baddo Bay Primary. Will made friends easily and would talk to anyone and everyone. My interactions with the school were minimal until Will started there. I never had any calls from the school with the other 3 kids, but got the first one when Will was 2 weeks into kindergarten. He kept the teachers on their toes, and I'm sure he tested every one of their teaching skills. I remember receiving a call from the acting principal when Will was in year 2 or 3. He wanted to let me know that Will had been distracting the other boys in the class by showing them a magazine. The magazine was FHM. Completely inappropriate for school, of course. When Will was asked by the principal where he got the magazine, of course he blamed his big brother Tom for giving it to him. So, much to Will's disgust, we made him get tutoring with one of the retired teachers, Mr. Hawkins, who lived in our street. Even though Mr. Hawkins lived about 200 metres up the street, I would have to drive Will there because he would be kicking and screaming all the way if I didn't. One day I pulled up at Mr. Hawkins' house and he came out to say hi and said, "Where's Will?" I said, Will had put himself in the boot of the Tarago and wasn't getting out without a struggle. That was just Will. Even though Will hated the education side of school, he loved sport. He would try anything and was usually really good at it. His greatest love at that stage was rugby league, and he was so proud to represent Sydney North when he was in year 5. Will also started playing rugby league in the under 6s for the Entrance Tigers. For a little kid, he was the hardest tackler there was, and he thought he had to make every tackle for the team. Unfortunately, most weeks there'd be little boys carried off the field because of one of Will's tackles. Cole used to record most of his games and compiled a video called Willie's Greatest Hits. If you take a walk along the trophy wall outside of the club here, you'll find Will's name as well as Tom's and Cole's. Will went on to Tumby High School, and it was a struggle to keep him there. He would often skip school to go to the beach or the skate park with his mates. He'd often get found out for skipping school. He called me one day on the way home from work asking me to take him to get to the doctor to get some stitches. He then had to confess that he had been at the beach and a rock had hit him. The story how the rock hit him changed several times, and I'm still unsure to this day what the true story was. Maybe someone here can fill me in on that. Another time I heard through the grapevine that Will had been bitten by a shark down at Baddo Bay Beach. This was several days after it had happened that I heard, and when I questioned Will on the truth of this story, he brought a flipper out with some little bite marks on it. I have no doubt that Will would have chased that baby shark before it took bite. School was not for Will, and he finished up in year 9 to take on a job bricklaying. It took him a while to find exactly what he wanted to do, and the next few years were hard for him and for us as parents. As Will's mum, I've seen the good, bad and ugly, and it was hard, but he was always quick to say, "I love you." It has been comforting to hear over the last week how good a friend Will was to his mates and everyone. He had also just begun to settle with his beautiful Emily, and from everything she has told me, he treated her right and they were making plans together. This makes me so proud to know that he was getting there in the end, and it is all you can hope for as a parent. Before I finish, I just would like to thank my kids for everything that they've done in the past week or so, especially in Bali, because it was damn hard. And they've been amazing to help us get through this. And thank you to the bottom of my heart to Emily, Jason and Bianca for being there for Will in Bali before we arrived. You kept us informed of what was happening and went above and beyond in caring for Will. I'm so sorry that you had to go through that, and hope that you will remember the fun part of your holiday rather than the last part. Will, you were my wild child, and now you are my angel child. I love you.
Thank you very much, Michelle, for sharing Will's journey from birth to adolescence. I'm now going to call on Will's 2 closest friends, Thurston and Ryan, to share their stories and mateship with Will.
Willie T, Will, Wilbur, my big brother, or how we used to say, Lawadi. I will miss you so much, as all the brothers and family that are here today. Lawadi was one of the greatest men I've ever met. He taught me everything I know. He was a man of few words but many actions. He was a born leader and an alpha amongst the people who didn't know him. I remember walking in the Shelley Beach shed, meeting you like it was yesterday, with the big bleached blonde hair and the baby blue eyes and the big mullet. He was a man of so many talents. From catching 10-foot waves to pro drifting in Little Chesney Mirage to being the best football player on the football field I've ever watched, he never had a fear. He was a man of so many talents, and I always remember that I could stand here for years, even decades, talking to us about the memories we shared together. But unfortunately, we don't have time for that today. I remember when Shez would have the biggest nights, sleep on the fold-out mattress, or times like the Willie Mason. Or when we would sit in the shed, so many different houses, the shed was always our place of comfort and safety. I can say right now, every single person that is here today knows that Willie T was never afraid of anything. Now I speak to all of our brothers and family. That we need to be strong and live the life that Will always wanted for us, all of us. Because one thing we all know is that Will loved to watch everyone succeed to their full potential. Standing here today makes me remember why we're here and how much we all love Big Brother. And we will continue to speak of the legacy he left behind for his nephews and nieces. I will never stop speaking about Will, nor will anyone ever forget who he was to all of us. I just want everyone to know that Willie was the best person that came into every single person's life that's here today. So many people here to gather for him. He was a leader. He showed us how to live, showed us how much heart he had. He was the best big brother that anyone could ever ask for. And I just wish he was here with me right now. Everyone just got to be strong for Willie. He was one of those people. He'd come here and stand in front of a million people and tell us how to be strong, make us feel strong, no matter what. Never lie, never anything. You know, you ask Will one question, he'd tell you the answer straight away. He was such a good man. And I thank everyone for coming to show their love to Will, because he was such a good bloke. I love all of you guys here and always will. Thank you. Big Willie.
Hey everyone, my name is Ryan. Some of you may know me as Shez. We gather here today to remember and honour the life of Will.
Willie's here.
I've been best mates with Will for nearly 16 years. The memories we made will forever be cherished and never forgotten. Will stuck by my side through thick and thin. He always looked after me and pushed me to be the best version of myself. Some qualities I admired about Will was his confidence, his drive and focus to see things through to the finish line, his sense of humour, the way he carried himself through life with his strength, morals and his passion and love for the people closest to him. The strength and loyalty he had was second to none. Whenever I needed him, he was right.
Go Shez, come on. He's right there, he's right here with us.
Whenever I needed him, he was right there by my side like a brother would be. He is the reason I am who I am today. I'll forever be grateful for that. The impact he had on other people was amazing. If you had the honour of meeting him, you wouldn't forget it. He's the reason about 20 boys have ran on the rugby field in the last year, a natural leader. The way he pushed people was unbelievable, not just by his words but by his actions. Trying to find the words today was extremely difficult for me. While we may not have Will physically here with us anymore, his legacy will live on through each and every one of us every day. All the lessons he taught me, I'll never forget. I have so much to say but struggle to put it on paper. To say I'll miss him is an understatement. The memories and stories I have I'll forever hold close to my heart. If anyone wants to hear any of them after this, come find me. We'll have a beer, a laugh and shed some tears as well. I love you, my brother. I promise to carry you with me every day.
Thank you very much, Trust and Ryan. What a wonderful friendship you had with Will, and it is really clear to see how much you all enriched each other's lives. Will's father Cole will now share Will's journey from adolescence to adulthood and the fine young man he became.
Will Thurston, yep. 14th of June 1997, 16th of February 2025. 27 years you're with us, Will. 27 years of tears, madness, happiness and laughter. The things you brought to so many people in your life are just incredible. I'll just touch on a few of his memories of Will, because there's just too many here to go through, and as you've heard, go and see the boys if you want to hear a good story. There's just too many stories to hear about Will. Yeah, you just heard about his younger days and his memories. Now I'd just like to touch on a few memories from around 16 years of age to 2021, and unfortunately a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, as Michelle said, Will left school at year 9 to start work as a bricklayer. From the age of 15 to 20, they were his lost years really. He was just, Will certainly was no angel. With the good came the bad and the ugly. After being hit by a car at Batter Bay bus stop, Will's footy career was more or less finished by then. So between 16 and 20, there was obviously girls, bikes, skateboards and alcohol, all playing the part at times. Will was just quite a free spirit during this time. Working as a bricklayer, renderer, by now a landscaper, Will always had grand plans to have his own business. Will started working with local NRL Women's Roosters coach Johnny Strange. Will have got one over you, Johnny, several times, because Johnny would often go out quoting jobs and seeing about work, leaving Will to change the mower blades, clean the car, wash the truck, whatever. But Johnny had a younger son, Ethan, so Will would often tell me, bugger the work, let's go and kick the footy, let's go and ride the motorbike, let's go and kick some goals. And they even put a couple of motorbikes in the dam, I do believe. So, Will, whoever got Will through his apprenticeship, Johnny, I'm forever grateful, mate. It would have been a hell of a struggle. So it was around 21 years of age I introduced Will to Bali, taking him there for his birthday. Will, excited about life and all the things, he couldn't wait to get off the plane and to the resort. So we arrived at the reception to sign him in. This took about 10 minutes. By the time I got my bag, Will had been to his room, dropped his bag off and was already on his way to the beach through the resort. By the time I found Will, he already had about 20 friends on Facebook. There was about 12 of them of the staff, and he was actually behind the bar drinking bintangs with the Balinese staff in stitches. And this was all within 10 minutes, yeah. Such is Will's enthusiasm for life. The rest of the day was off to the gym with the security staff, believe it or not, and then back to the resort for more bintangs. If anyone knows the Y Bar, well, this is one of Will's favourite places. At the time of that first Bali trip, there was a state of origin on, so we thought we'd go to the Y Bar. We booked a table of about 10 people, and the place had about 1,000 people in it. And Will was in his prime. Here goes another 20 more friends on Facebook. No problem, Will. Half time came around, and Will was off to go and get some more bintangs, and all of a sudden I heard this commotion out in the back room. What the hell's going on there? That voice sounds very familiar. Yeah, so Will had grabbed the microphone off the security guard, jumped onto the pool table. New South Wales! New South Wales! Got the whole crowd going mad. Good one, Will. On you, mate. Will's love for Bali had began, having another 4 or so trips with his mates. In between now and then, He had to go back to Bali again. This was Will's last trip. But life was not done with that yet. Sorry, I might have missed a page here. I have. In between this time and now, there's a very dark period in Will's life. And I'll make this as short as possible and just straight to the point, because Will is not here to defend himself. On the 14th of August 2019, 4 Islander boys, 2 Indigenous boys and my son Will were evicted from an NRL game in Gosford for racism. What endured after this was relentless. Attacked on every national TV and radio station in Australia, their names and faces exposed. So for 4 years, 156 days later, in the Federal Court of Australia, Justice John Haley found all defendants not guilty of any wrongdoing and innocent of all racism. So this is for you, Will. Will, to all the accusers, get stuffed. You got him, Will, always was, always will be, not a racist. That's the end of that. So.
Never.
Moving on, Will had recently been working in Sydney Airport for his new employer, B&K Revegetation, which he absolutely loved. Just before the Black Friday sales last year, Will was playing the pokies with his mates and won enough money to go to where to? Bali. This was to be Will's last trip to Bali. But life wasn't done with yet. After enjoying days, as you heard, with Emily and Jason and Bianca on the island. Flooded out of one resort, off to another resort and then another, landing in a room only to come across, as Emily said, venomous snakes slithering around the room, then another resort only for Jason and Bianca to find a wasp nest up in their roof. So Jason and Bianca took a picture, went down to reception and said, look, there's a picture of a wasp nest up in the roof, we want out of here, full refund, off you go. So Will thought, well, bugger this, I'm not hanging around here by myself. Will went and took a photo of the same wasp nest, went down to reception. I got a wasp nest in my room too. Full refund, off you go, mate. Will, your enthusiasm and loyalty to your friends is totally infectious. You will be remembered by all that know You're remembered by all that know you as a top bloke, son, brother, uncle, cousin. You're a mate's mate and a best friend to many. So on your final trip to the place you love most was the end of your time with us. The fight you fought was relentless and one that should not have happened. Well, you came into this world loved. You left this world loved. But Will, you also left the world in love. Thank you, Emily, for doing what you've done for Will. And took his final time with us. Will, this is not the way it's supposed to be, mate. You're supposed to be doing a eulogy for me, not me one. You doing one for me. Well, I'll take this to my grave forever, but I'm so desperately, desperately sorry for having to call time on you in your last moments, mate. I'm sorry, Will. Forever 27. We love you. We love you, Will.
Oh,
Thank you to everyone who's shared those wonderful tributes and the wonderful mates who've given Will a massive high honour. Thank you. Yes. And thank you, Cole, for that very heartwarming story, highlighting Will's passion, his love for and his deep connection with his mates and with Barley. I'm now going to invite Ali to come and read a beautiful poem called Love and Go On by David Harkins. As Ali reads this poem, I want you to please close your eyes and I want you to imagine Will speaking these words to you.
You can shed tears that he is gone, or you can smile because he has lived. You can close your eyes and pray that he will come back, or you can open your eyes and see all that he has left. Your heart can be empty because you can't see him, or you can be full of the love that you shared. You can turn back on tomorrow and live yesterday, or you can be happy for tomorrow because of yesterday. You can remember him and only that he is gone, or you can cherish his memory and let it live on. You can cry and close your mind, be empty and turn your back, or you can do what he would want, smile, open your eyes, love and go on.
Thank you very much, Ali, for those beautiful words and that beautiful poem. We all know that Will would want us to remember him, but as Thurston Ryan said, never stop living our lives to the fullest and be all that we can. Family and friends, we are now going to share in Will's life with a snapshot of his images that present him as we want to remember him.
Sing my share of broken halo, folded wings that used to fly. They've all gone wherever they go, broken halos that used to shine. Angels come down from the heavens just to help us on our way. Come to teach us, then they leave us, and they find some other soul to save. Sing my share of broken halos, folded wings that used to fly. They've all gone wherever they go, broken halos that used to shine, broken halos that used to shine. Don't go looking for the reasons. Don't go asking Jesus why. We're not meant to know the answers. They belong to the by and by. They belong to the by and by. Sing my share of broken halos, folded wings that used to fly. They've all gone wherever they go, broken halos that used to shine, broken halos that used to shine.
See you when I'm looking at you, mate. Wouldn't bother leaving on the light. Haven't got a clue when I'll be coming through. See you when I'm looking at you, mate. Do you remember riding bikes, climbing hills and picking fights, living life with all your childhood mates? As sure as birds will fly and questions ask you why, like a fortune lost, time just gets away. See you when I'm looking at you, mate. Don't feel bad, it'll be okay. We've all got things to do as another day begins. See you when I'm looking at you, mate. We started chasing girls, buying cars and pushing tools. Throughout our lives so many come and go, and now our babies cry, no matter how we try. Like a star at night, a true friend's heart will shine. I'll see you when I'm looking at you, mate. It might be years before we meet again. You know when we do, it feels like a week or two. I'll see you when I'm looking at you, mate. Doesn't take a lot to keep in touch. A little note, a call can mean so much. We only get a few good friends to see us through. My dear old mate, I wrote this song for you. See you when I'm looking at you, mate. Wouldn't bother leaving on the light. I haven't got a clue when I'll be coming through. See you when I'm looking at you, mate. See you when I'm looking at you, mate. I wouldn't bother leaving on the light. Really couldn't say when I'll be coming back this way. I'll see you when I'm looking at you, mate. See you when I'm looking at you, mate. I'll see you when I'm looking at you, oh mate.
A memory for everyone there, something for you to all cherish the wonderful memory of Will and the impact that he had on your life. I'm now going to call on family friend Joshua Renner to lead us in the Lord's Prayer. If you're able to, please stand.
Our Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Our kingdom come, will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our sins. We forget those who sin against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For the kingdom, the power and the glory, yours and now forever. Amen.
Thank you very much, Joshua. We've now come time to commit Will's body to God and let him rest in eternal youth. I would just like to invite the funeral attendants to come forward and prepare Will. At the conclusion of the service, friends and family will take Will out of the room to the hearse. I will invite you to process out, and as you go past Will, pay your respects either with a bow or a touch. The close family will then head to Tuggerah to participate in a private service before rejoining you here for refreshments and cans of bintang to share stories and memories of Will. The family would love for you to be here when they return. William Robert Thurston, what a wonderful life you have lived, and what an impact you have made on others. There is no doubt today that at the end of your time here, you have left behind so many warm memories and a beautiful legacy of your love for family and friends. And so it is with love and gratitude that we now commit all these fond memories to be locked away in our hearts as we gently yield Will's body to its end with nature. We celebrate Will. We honour Will. But most of all, we pay tribute to that consistent love and sense of fun that he always shared so enthusiastically with his family and the mateship with his friends. And we are never going to forget him in that certain knowledge that he may rest in peace. Almighty God, into your hands we commend your son, William Robert Thurston, in sure and certain hope of resurrection to eternal life through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Gonna raise up a top. Back on all the life that we lived through. Yeah, the things that we drank to. That we missed and the hearts that we broke. The ones that we lost, the tears that we cried, the dreams that we dreamed, the stars that burn out and the stars that we reached, the pictures we take, the stories they tell, and the moments we keep for ourselves. Gonna raise up a tall glass tonight as we look back on all the life that we lived through. Yeah, the things that we drank to. Shed a little light on a memory. Kinda makes it feel like you're with me. I'm still a little lost here without you. You're the things that we drank to. The hurt that we healed, the songs that we sing, the hope that we know tomorrow can bring.